Good evening. You're joining the State of Business with me, Nishani Piguera. Let's first take a look at tonight's headlines. Government refutes negative reports on engagement with global consultancy, and plans underway to liberalize the country's lubricant industry. In tonight's top story, the Ministry of National Policies and Economic Affairs refutes negative media reports that the government has engaged internationally reputed consultancy firms. The ministry said that the Cabinet Committee on Economic Management decided to engage the services of Yuvanjan Wijayathilaka, former Attorney General, to draft new laws and to revise existing laws relating to the proposed financial city. Services of Baker and McKenzie, a leading global law firm specializing in financial commercial tax laws, has been retained to advise the government in regard to legal implications of different financial models. The firm is also advising the government on Indonesian tax laws and other similar laws. The ministry said that they have not been assigned any other work. This task will be handled by Baker and McKenzie's office in Hong Kong. Another project undertaken by the government is the establishment of a central program management unit based on the Performance and Management Delivery Unit in the Malaysian Prime Minister's office. For this purpose, the government has entered into an agreement with McKenzie and Company, a well-known global management consultancy firm. Cabinet spokesperson Dr. Rajitha Senaratne says the government is encountered with a debt repayment commitment of 1.3 trillion rupees, which was not mentioned in books. Addressing the weekly cabinet briefing, the minister said the government was forced to introduce VAT to find money to pay those debts.
Trillion 1.3ක සංගවාගත්ත ණයක් තියෙනවා අපිට ගෙවන්න. ඒකනේ ඇත්ත. ඒ කියන්නේ බිලියන 1300ක්. ණයක් තියෙනවා මේ අපිට වාර්තා නොවුන IMF එක හරහා මේව කළා ගණනය කළා අපිට ලබා දුන්නා. ඒවා පොත්වල සඳහන් වෙලා නැහැ රාජ්‍ය ණය විදියට. ඉතින් මේක ගෙවන්න ගෙවිය යුතුයි. ඒක අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ වැරදි මාර්ගයෙන්. ලංකා බැංකුව, මහජන බැංකුව NSB එක හරහා. දැන් සමහර වෙලාවට මේකේ ණය ගෙවන්නේ NSB එකේ තැන්පතු අහිංසක මිනිස්සුන්ගේ තැන්පතු වලින් තමයි මේක ගෙවන්න වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකට තමයි ඔය වැට් වල. නමුත් වැට් එක කොයි විදිහටද ගන්න කියන එක අතරේ රජය තුල තවමත් අවසාන තීන්දුවක් නැහැ.
Here's a look at a few more cabinet decisions in brief.
Government has decided to establish a National Information Centre. It will be entrusted with obtaining public opinion in policy making and to provide official information of the government to electronic and print media. It will also act as the government's official media spokesperson. It has been proposed in the Budget 2016 to create competition in the local lubricant industry. Accordingly, more licenses will be issued and the fees will be doubled. The quality will be checked by Sri Lanka Standards Institute. Investors could submit applications to the Ministry of Petroleum Resources Development to obtain new licenses. The government plans to issue new licenses for bitumen importers. They will be charged a 2 million rupee fee every 6 months. The Finance Minister Ravi Kannanayaka's proposal to list bitumen as an item under Sri Lanka's Import and Export Control Act was also approved by the Cabinet.
More stories coming up after this short break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching the State of Business. In more news tonight, SIMA Sri Lanka Business Leaders Summit began in Colombo last evening. Minister Malik Samaravikrama was the chief guest of the annual event.
Addressing the inaugural session of the CIMA Business Leaders Summit, Minister Malik Samaravikrama said the government is determined to make difficult economic decisions to revive the country's economy.
Achieving inclusive growth in developing countries like Sri Lanka poses a number of challenges. Employment is a transmission mechanism for sharing the benefits of technological change. It is therefore necessary to ensure people have the human capital to participate effectively in a modernizing economy. Sri Lanka will have to embrace this dramatic change happening around us and be ready to face the challenges it may result in, while getting fully prepared to take advantage and reap whatever benefits that it may offer. In this connection, high priority needs to be attached to education, training, and skills development to empower people to participate in rapidly evolving opportunities for work in a world where we are seeing an exponential increase in the pace of technological change.
Meanwhile, keynote speaker, Central Bank Governor Indrajit Kumaraswamy said Sri Lanka should target better balance between social development and inclusive growth in its policy framework.
The prospects for the economy, in my view, are excellent. There's no major drag holding us back, and we are located in the most dynamic region in the world. If we are to realize the full potential of this particular moment, we cannot assume that business as usual is going to work. In fact, business as usual is becoming more and more challenging. We have to have a laser-like focus on productivity and competitiveness. That is not something that is in our DNA at the moment, but that has to change. Sri Lanka, we have no choice. We have maxed out on our credit card. The government has maxed out on its credit card. The government does not have money. There is no option. It has to be private sector driven.
Meanwhile, addressing the summit, the chairman of SEMA Sri Lanka, Manjula De Silva, highlighted some of the difficulties in making decisions at organizations. He used findings of a research by SEMA along with AICPA to support his views. The research was conducted based on views of 300 senior executives in corporate sector in 16 countries.
Let me go through some of these. First, overcoming bureaucracy and organizational silos to create an agile decision-making process. Isn't this something we are confronting on a day-to-day basis? Within departments, within divisions, within organizations, we find these silos, bureaucracies, which are impeding the progress of organizations, which are blocking attempts made by the leadership to align the staff and to move towards a stated objective, are often blocked by these silos and the bureaucracies that have built around them. And couple this with the second point, which is lack of trust and collaboration. You find a major obstacle to get over. The third point the report has come out with is the imbalance between short, medium and long-term objectives, typically leading to short-termism. So there's often a lot of emphasis on producing results, delivering short-term results in the private sector as well as in the public sector. There are pressures. There is shareholder pressure on the private sector. There's political pressure on the public sector. But often it tends to take us away from being focused on the more important long-term goals and objectives.
Here's a look at some more news in brief.
Police request public support of any information regarding the businessman from Bambalapitiya who was allegedly abducted. 2 police teams have already launched probes into the disappearance of the 29-year-old businessman Mohammed Sulaiman. Sulaiman went missing on the night of the 21st of August from near his house at Kotalavala Avenue in Colombo 4. Dr. N.M. Pereira lecture was held in Colombo last evening under the chairmanship of Professor Carlo Fonseca. Professor Tissavitharna delivered the lecture under the title Saving Sri Lanka from the Neoliberal Trap to Become a Developed Nation. The lecture commemorated Dr. N.M. Pereira's 37th death anniversary. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa was also present. EAP Risk Management Services, a subsidiary of the EAP Group, launched an innovative insurance cover called Auto Aid. Auto Aid is especially designed for doctors.
Stay with us for the Stock Watch after this break. Welcome back to the show. A look at how the stocks performed today. The market ended the day weaker as John Keells Holdings and Ceylon Coal Stores closed lower. Local investors continue to be a driving factor on the bourse, with interest on Tokyo Cement, Royal Ceramics and Ceylon Tobacco. The all share price index dipped 15.46 points to close at 6,588.3, while the S&P SL20 dipped 14.16 points to close at 3,613.8. Turnover for the day amounted to 1.3 billion rupees with 31 million shares traded. The top traded counters were National Development Bank with 212.9 million rupees, Ceylon Tobacco 208 million rupees, Tokyo Cement 140.4 million rupees, Ceylon Grain Elevators 89.1 million rupees and Royal Ceramics 78.1 million rupees. Foreign activity was present on National Development Bank and Ceylon Tobacco, with the counter having blocks traded across the board. Foreign inflows amounted to 335.5 million rupees, whilst foreign outflows totaled 572.9 million rupees. And now let's take a look at the day's forex rates. And that's all the news we have for you tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time. Until then, thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening.